In this video series, we're going to be going over how I'm going to teach myself to play the Highland bagpipes with my hands reversed in 2026. Stay tuned. Well, hello everybody, I'm Matt Willis Bagpiper, and on this channel I make videos to make you a stronger and more confident piper. If you like this kind of content, please think about giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. I also give online lessons if you want more personalized instruction, but more on that later. All right, everybody, I had the wacky idea that for 2026, and Happy New Year, everybody, I would take this brilliant Maverick Mark II chanter and start teaching myself using my Bagpipe Basic Series book right here and video series that will be linked all of the places to teach myself to play the Highland bagpipes with my hands reversed. That's right, I wanted to see how long it might take to learn to play with my right hand on top, left hand on bottom, and that would mean the entire instrument switches sides. So as I get to the small pipes and later the Highland pipes, we're gonna have to switch all of that too. Now, the rules I'm putting forth on this are I'm going to practice for 30 minutes each day and 30 minutes only. That's what I recommend for my beginning students. Now, anyone who has more time, I do recommend they keep going with more time. I do want to keep my skills up with my normal handed playing since I do have events and other things. So I'm limiting myself to 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. So that is going to be my process. I'll do no more than one lesson a week with possibly the exception of episode 4 in this because that was only 4 note changes that I forgot. But outside of that, one lesson in my book per week, so it would be a minimum of 47, 48 weeks to get through this whole thing. I think some of these lessons are going to take more than a week, but we'll find out. And again, going step by step through the whole process using both the video and other printed materials that I've, had forth for you guys. So yeah, let's get started. Today we learned the basics of the practice chanter, from the parts it has to how to keep it clean to how to put your fingers on it. Stay tuned. Ah, the theme song. Well, hello everybody, I'm Matt Willis Bagpiper, and on this channel I make videos to make you a stronger and more confident piper. If you like this kind of content, please think about liking the video, subscribing below. Also, I do give Skype lessons if you want more personalized instruction, but more. Skype. Man, I said that in all the videos and now it's gone. Online, I use all sorts of video platforms, but not Skype. There's links below to PDFs of a description on how you can put your fingers on it using the same method I talk about in this video. Print those out, have them ready so you can follow along. Or again, head over to the link you see right here and get the actual book that has the entire basic series in one spot, but the free PDF is linked below if you want to start there. So, someone's giving you a practice chanter, or maybe you picked one up on your own, and you're ready to start this journey. What do you do with this thing? What are all the parts of it? How do you make it work? How do you keep it clean? And more importantly, how do you even put your fingers on it to get it to start making noise? And again, from this series, I'm going to be using my Maverick Mark II practice chanter right here in the carbon color that you're going to blow into, and the reed itself. In working with the reed, I tend to use 3 fingers, and I try to hold it so that the blades, and I have a bit of a dental elastic on here to ease this abbot in just a bit. So I like to grab it with 3 fingers on the wrapping. So you can see here, I'm not touching the blades at all. I'm grabbing the wrapping, and with 3 fingers, I'm much less likely to crush the staple. Granted, I don't know if much of anybody has enough force to really squish the staple, but I've seen some people really manhandle this stuff. The 3 fingers is safe. You're probably gonna be fine if you just use 2, just say. To start with, we're gonna be positioning the bottom hand on the practice chanter. And you can see here, I have marked with a Sharpie the part of your finger that I'm not gonna mark my hand with a Sharpie. I know what parts of my fingers are supposed to be on there. Now, whether they're gonna stay there, that's the question, but I know that part. But it is going to be with the opposite hand. At least for my hand, is going to be covering. For the pointer, middle, and ring, you can see it's somewhere in the middle of the middle pad. And for the pinky, it's on the nice fleshy bit of the last pad, but not the tip. We're going to be using the flats of our fingers. And I want to reiterate, that's not optional. I see people come after watching my videos, following my videos, and I appreciate that, coming in still using either fingertips or the last pad of their finger. It's just not gonna work. You need your fingers flat, and that's the positioning they need to be in. Unless you have an unusually short index finger, which I do have one student with a very short index finger. It did actually go on the last pad of his index finger, but his index finger was like at the same level as the joint of his middle finger. If your hands aren't built like that, it's gonna be middle, 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 last pad. That's just how it goes. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but if you come in and your hand does not look like that for lessons, I'm gonna be, on you until we have your hand in the correct position. And the first thing I want you to do is kind of just shake your hand out and let it kind of naturally fall to your side. I'll go ahead and erase that. You can see I have just a nice kind of natural curve to my hand. It's not completely straight, but it's not super loose either. This is a nice natural position. And when we go to move our fingers, the motion is going to be from this knuckle. It's not going to be this kind of motion. We're going to be using the flats of our fingers. To position the bottom hand on the chanter, we're going to start with our pinky. And I'm going to put, and again, I have it marked, it's a nice fleshy bit on the pad of your pinky and over the bottom hole. Then we're going to go up 1, 2, 3 holes, and we're going to put the middle of our pointer finger over that hole. So you can see here, you have 2 holes left, and you can see how much finger is dangling over the chanter. From here, I just want to naturally let the other 2 fingers fall over their holes. So everything's nice and natural. We're not trying to curl these up. We're not trying to keep them overly straight. So last pad, middle pad, these should naturally fall right on their middle pad. You can see where the marks are on my fingers, and they correspond with the holes. The thumb should be directly behind the middle finger, as if the hole was drilled all the way through and you're trying to cover it with your thumb. We don't want it up here. We don't want it down here, right here. There's going to be some note changes where we're actually going to be pivoting our hand to some degree, and the point you want to be pivoting on is right there from under your middle finger. All right, so before moving on to the top hand, I have my bottom hand as best I can in the proper position, but I'm not gonna lie, I feel a lot of pressure right here, having that thumb be that low, and I can tell my hand's wanting to kind of twist like this knuckle toward me. I'm trying to keep that out so that I can have that nice natural curve and have my fingers landing straight, but I can tell you right now, that's gonna take at least a couple of days, if not weeks, to get used to the thumb being in that low of a position, because when it's your top hand, as we're going to find out here, that thumb goes above your fingers, not below your fingers. So that's definitely a change in something I'm feeling. And real quick, I have attempted a few times for a few seconds at a time with my hands reversed just to kind of show the struggle of what it's like. I've spent no appreciable amount of time trying to do this, and it's been many, many, many weeks, if not months, since I've done any amount of this, because I wanted to come into this as fresh and unexperienced with any sort of switched hand playing as I could for this experiment project, whatever we want to call it. So we have the bottom hand in the correct position. Now we're going to go ahead and position the top hand. So the top hand, the pinky is not going to be getting used. And because of that, we don't have to have it over so far. The reason for this kind of crazy bottom hand position that has so much finger dangling over is because the pinky has to cover a hole. If not, we'd probably have it over here, because the further out you are on your fingers, the less motion it takes from your knuckles to have your fingers lift off the hole the same amount. So on the top hand, we don't have to worry. Now again, I have my fingers marked where I'm going to be covering the holes. Thumb and these 3 fingers. And notice they're all on the pads of the fingers. On this one, I go ahead and put my ring finger down first, then my middle finger, then my pointer finger, and then my thumb. And now notice my hand is coming in kind of perpendicular to the chanter, and the thumb is, let's turn this all the way around, the thumb is at a 90-degree angle, more or less, to the chanter, and about a 45-degree angle this direction to the chanter. If the holes are all properly covered, using the method that we already discussed, you should get a nice deep tone. Here goes nothing, folks. All right, I'm getting a sound. I'm not gonna lie, that thumb has already crept up to be slightly behind my pointer finger. I thought I'd been keeping it in the right spot. Let's try it again with the thumb correctly positioned behind that middle finger. Excellent. That makes me happy. It's not airy. I can tell that all the holes are being sealed, so I'm happy with that as a start. I have a long way to go. So when you can get a good, solid, low G out of your chanter, you're ready to move on to the rest of the scale. Pinky wasn't on there. In another video. I do give online bagpipe lessons, so go ahead and head over to www.commandyourbagpipe.com or email me at the address you see here, and we'll get you going. I'm working with folks from all over the planet, and I hope to work with you soon. All right, we're not gonna go over how to keep it clean and the other stuff. You're welcome to review the video. This is all about getting that first initial low G. And so my exercise for myself right now is to put the chanter down, check out the hands again, and pick this thing back up. So again, I have right hand on top, left hand on bottom, and can I go straight to a low G? Not bad. I could hear a little warble in that one, but I'm going to put it down, shake it out, and pick it back up. I need to be able to reliably get my fingers onto this chanter. And that's working pretty well. I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to spend 30 minutes, 5 days a week this week, just picking this up, playing low G, and putting it down. But throughout the day, before I do any other practice on any other instrument, I'm going to do that 5 to 10 times to make sure I can get a good, solid low G and start getting my hands used to this position before I move on to the next step, which is going to be the paradiddle finger warm-up. That will be the next video in the series, and there'll be a progression. You'll see each day how I'm doing. I'm not going to do that with this video because I'm already getting a fairly solid one. What I'm more interested in by the end of this week is, can I get my hands in the position without that cramping feeling here? Is it getting more reliable? Am I not having to slide my fingers around? And can I get a more natural resting place for everything? Or at the end of 5 days, am I still somewhat struggling to make sure I get a good clean low G? I feel it's off to a fairly good start, but it's uncomfortable. And I want to see if I can alleviate some of that before I start getting into finger motions. Because if I have a cramped up bottom hand, that's not going to help me at all with trying to actually do some more advanced finger movements. All right, day 5 update, everybody. I've been picking up this chanter each of the days this week, multiple times to get that low G, and I made the decision that I'm going to be using my Maverick Mark II, which I already said, but I'm going to be using this exclusively for my reversed-handed practice this week. What I found about day 3 is when I went to reach for the Maverick, because I'd only been using this for the goofy reversed-handed practice, I was actually naturally wanting to put my hands in the reverse order on it. Now, they were still drifting more or less to where they kind of wanted to be, where they would be under the normal kind of left-armed situation. But the very fact that when I pick this one up, it doesn't, like, that's actually starting to feel a little weird. So this chanter is a very different feel from the other chanters. It's got the smooth turned holes and everything's smooth. It's a great chanter. But because it feels so different, I'm already kind of used to how this feels with my hands reversed. So if this is something you want to play around with, perhaps think about getting a different chanter. I mean, this one's excellent, but it doesn't have to be a Maverick, but something that feels different from your standard practice chanter so that you might have some sort of, I don't know, textural difference or something that starts making that instrument feel like the one for your hands reversed, and it might speed you up. But anyways, with the hands reversed on there, and down again, shake them out. And one more time. You can see I'm still not getting the hands on there quite as quickly as the normal chanter. But after 5 days, it's much, much more natural. The hand is still, cramping might not be the right word, but I'm still definitely feeling some tension in right there on my hand. But we'll see next week with the paradiddle warm-ups how that starts doing with additional finger motion. So I'm excited for Monday where I get to start doing something other than playing a low G on this particular little stick. I wanted to give a quick shout out to the members of my Patreon community. You'll see their names scrolling up now. These are folks that contribute monthly to the channel. I'd love to add your name to this list. You get perks like having your name in my books, like the Bagpipe Basics book right here, or the new Tunes, Chords, and Harmony Volume 2 Christmas Edition. So think about joining the Patreon. It really does help make these videos possible. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you got something out of the video, please think about giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. And whether you're a beginning piper or an experienced piper, what is your thought about maybe going back to the basics and starting again just from the first lesson? You don't have to reverse your hands, but making sure that all of your I's are dotted, T's are crossed, all of that stuff, and following along week by week with me as we go through the basic series here to make sure that all of our fingers are good, clean, accurate, and that we're making ourselves stronger and more confident pipers. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I look forward to seeing where this goes next week as we start actually moving the fingers and starting to make some more organized noise. See, didn't get it. Got that elbow up in the air. I got a lot of work to do. We'll see how it is next week. Take care, everybody.